Yeah, you need to mute yourself. So sound is there. Yeah. So, yesterday we spoke about storage grid. So now we'll talk about storage grid replication. Okay. I was thinking how to give Occam, but fortunately I got a lab. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to record the session. So storage replication, and that yesterday I got one person. He was asking me, "Can I do in Hindi? Can I give the class in Hindi?" So that is
Wow.
difficult.
Those
Yeah,
bro.
there's one person. Yeah, the problem is I can give in Hindi, but I don't know how many people would like to learn in Hindi, right?
Hmm.
Because I cannot give everything in Hindi, brother. I have to use English words, right? How
Only.
can I replication? What would I say in Hindi? I don't know. So So storage grid replication we'll talk about. So basically, it's a mechanism to replicate the objects between different grids. Okay. So replication between independent means independent grids. Okay. So that is what storage grid replication is. So a grid yesterday we showed that a grid can have one or more sides, right? So if yesterday the grid I showed, right, it had three data center, right, three sites. Okay, so we can have this storage replication in order to get the data recovered whenever the grids become unavailable because of some site outage or some network outage. Okay, so for that, for example, suppose some sensitive data is there, and we have to replicate either to the some other site because we don't want the data to be you know we don't want the any data loss. Okay, and the replication that you do here in storage grid replication or cross grid replication, what we call it, we can do it in one way, like from one grid to another grid, or from and another grid to this grid also, like bidirection also we can do, also unidirection also we can do. Okay, and there are additional options like the markers and all, we'll talk about this. Okay, and yesterday we talked about information lifecycle policies, right, policies rules, like one copy per site, right? So uh, every grid we will have different kind of items, right? So this thing, like whenever we are replicating, right, the first thing we have to do is we have to configure some new buckets. Okay, and because it is not really possible to enable the cross-grid replication for a bucket that is having objects, so we need to create some new bucket which is not having an object in order to create cross-grid replication for those buckets. Okay, and then we have this information lifecycle policies that I showed yesterday, which will help the grid to understand how the objects are stored in the grid in the bucket. Okay, but the ILM will never ILM will not change the bucket location. Okay, so here we'll work on how to create replicated buckets, and we can show how we do disaster recovery on that. Okay, so let me just open to the grids. So there's a one grid advanced. Okay, so we're opening to the grid. We have logged into the grid. Okay, so okay, so then what we'll do, we'll log into the other grid also, the DC2 data center 2, in the same way. So one second. So these other storage grid that we have. Okay, so we have logged into both the grids. Okay, this is grid 2 and that is grid 1. Okay, so if we go to the nodes, what you can see, how many nodes we can see here. Yesterday we saw that we have three different nodes like admin node, storage node and gateway node. Admin node is normally for administration purpose, storage node is where the buckets will be there, and gateway node is for load balancing purpose. Gateway node is optional because we can have some external gateway application also instead of having gateway node for load balancing. Okay, so you just go down a little bit, go down below. So these are the nodes we're having: three storage node, one admin node and one gateway node. Okay, and if we go to the dashboard, what you can find here, so these are all the things: license, performance, storage, ILM policies, uh, information lifecycle management, these policies, whatever there is. It can see like this data, how the objects are being evaluated, health of all nodes and all these things we can see here. We only have like here three storage nodes we are having. Data usage means this is for data, right, buckets, and this is admin node, these are all storage node, this is gateway node. We can see all these things. Okay, and if you go to tenant, right, you know that tenant is basically this is for different applications or different, I would say, different companies or different organizations. Like I said, sales department, engineering department, development department. So for that, different tenant will be there, which is basically for logical partitioning of grid, which is tenant, and every tenant will have some bucket just to segregate. So the bucket in LOD grid 2 will not be, if we create some other tenant, it will not be visible to the other tenant. Okay, so here this here only one tenant is created. Okay, so here whatever tenant, whatever bucket we are creating, right, we can create some access mechanism also for that. Okay, some access mechanism also we can create. Okay, let me just what is it, password, yeah, so we can create this. Okay, so this is grid 2. Grid 2 we have LOD grid 1, and if we go to grid 1, what tenant we have here, the tenant we have is LOD grid 1. Okay, so these are the two tenants we have. Okay, if you want to log into the tenant, so this is the way you can do sign in. Okay, so let me log in here. So yesterday we showed how to log into the tenant. Net tab. So here in the tenant dashboard, what you can see here, we can see one bucket here. Okay, we can see one user here. Okay, and we can see the bucket name is demo. Okay, and number of objects 0. So this is a new bucket which is not have any objects, so we can replicate this one, will not have any problem. Okay, and if we go to the access management, we'll get to the access key, we'll go to the storage, we'll get to the my access keys. Okay, so these access keys that is already created. Okay, we can see here, and it is not visible. Okay, so whenever we create the key, then only that time it will be visible, so it is now obscured. Okay, if you go to the bucket, so you have only one bucket, this one. Okay, and is in US East region. Okay, and here what you are using, we are using the root user. So root user is having only one bucket, is having access to only one bucket, which is having 0 objects, 0 bytes. Okay, we can sign it out and we can log into some other user. Okay, we'll try. Somebody is, a lot of people are actually protesting because of the RG code issue, so there are a lot of noise is coming. Okay, yeah, Bengal is a shitty place, bro. It's I'm very unfortunate that I'm born in Bengal. If I was a South Indian, I would have been done much more academically, and I would have been
Oh, bro.
used to. Yeah,
Why?
I cannot tell you why, but there are reasons. There are
Uh-huh.
reasons because in South India, peop, you have good brotherly bond. Okay, your parents have a good brotherly bond with your uncles. Okay, but not in Bengal. Bengal, they can also kill you for money, bro. That's how it is. So to do replications, we have to create trust between the two grids, which call like grid federation, which is called a grid federation. So here, what it will do, we have two different tenants, right? Okay, so we want access between grid one and grid two. Okay, so let me just try this. Okay, go to configuration. Okay, here you'll have grid federation. Start configuration. So from grid 1 to grid 2 you are doing, so we'll give the name as grid 1, okay, to grid 2, okay, okay, so this is the FKTM name for grid 1, okay, port number we'll use as 23012, okay, let me go down below, 730, it's okay, provisioning per phrase, passphrase is, we'll give the password that you need, okay, other grid FQDM ID is, would be this one, so we'll just copy this one, okay, save and continue. Let us wait. We need to download the verification file. Okay, we have already downloaded it. We'll close it. Okay, now you can see the connection is added, right? Read on to read on, but it is showing is waiting to connect. Waiting to connect, right? So what you can do, we can go to the grid 2, okay, and we'll go to the configuration, okay, we'll go to the grid federation, okay, and here we'll upload the verification file from our download folder, okay, so this is not this one, yeah, so just open this one, okay, let me check, yeah, one second, so we have this and there is some password, yeah, password we need to give the passphrase, so which we know, which is new tab one, this one, we know this, so we'll save and test, okay, if we give wrong password it will not work, so let us wait, it's very easy actually, it's not difficult, okay, so go to grid here and just refresh option is not there, no problem, go to configuration, go to grid federation, see it's connected, right? So it is connecting, so you have accepted the passphrase, after that it is showing as connected, so you have set up the replication between grid 1 and grid 2, okay, cross grid replication between those two, okay, so it will replicate between these two grids, okay, so we'll create a tenant, we'll create a new tenant and we'll use this newly created grids, okay, federated grids, okay, so let me just create, so whenever we are creating a tenant in this grid 1, okay, so it is being federated with the grid 2, okay, and we can assign permissions of this tenant for both grids, okay, so let me just do this, so let me go to tenant here, create tenant, okay,
Okay, bro, here we can do migration also from one grid to another.
have never done that. I think with cross-grid replication only you can do migrations.
Or like replication technology.
Yeah, replicate technology, yes. You can do that. But I have done only replications. No migration I have done from now. I will use the simple storage service S3. Okay, and grid. Okay, storage quota will not give. Okay, just one more sec. So we'll continue this, and here different things we'll have, like allow platform services. What is this? So this is for this is for replication cloud mirroring. Okay, so we'll allow this. Okay, and obviously we are using federation, so we'll be using the federation connection, so we'll use this. Okay, we'll select this option, continue. Okay, we need to give the passwords and everything, so let me give the same password. So this my tenant one was to create on this grid and clone on the other grid. Yes, so finish. Okay, so we go here. So this is this tenant you created here, right? Grid one, and we can check in grid 2. One second, go to tenant. See, this is copied, right? Both this tenant also copied, right? You see this is also created here, right? Because of the replication. Okay, you can understand. So this tenant also created. So the new tenant exists in both the grids. So if you're using like some LDAP directory services like Active Directory, Azure AD, or Open LDAP or Oracle Directory Server, okay, so it will use authentications, and we can use different kind of domain users also. Okay, so basically we have created a federated tenant with a local account. So that's why this tenant is replicated with the user that is having. So the user that we had was root, right? Root and NetApp one, that password we use, right? So same thing is, you know, our account is cloned to the other grid, but the password that we use, right? NetApp this is not cloned. Okay, so we can set up the password for the users. So this is our my grid 2. Okay, so let me go here. Okay, we can set up the password here. Okay, so here actions, change root password. Okay, tab 1. Save. Okay, let me save this. So we created a tenant. This tenant has the capability to use the federation for grade 1 and grade 2. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll create some buckets that we'll use for the cross grid replication. Okay, so we'll go to the grid 1 and we'll log into the tenant to create buckets. Okay, so we created this. Okay, now we can go to the buckets option, and there we can create a bucket. Okay, so we'll create this bucket and use the default region what is showing here. Okay, enable object version, so we'll have different kind of versioning, v1 v2. Okay, we can have the different kind of versioning. So we'll finish this. Okay, wait for some time. Here we'll close this because it is created, so we'll close it here. Okay, here you can see the demo thing is created just now. Demo dir bucket just created now. Okay, so and for the storage grid 2, right, we can log into the tenant here. One second. This is a tenant. We can sign into the tenant. Okay. So we go to the this one. So here we go to the buckets. We can create the bucket. We'll create the bucket with the same name that we have created. Okay. Demo dr. Go down. Continue. Enable object versioning. We'll do that. Create bucket. Finish. So we have created demo dr bucket both in grid 1 and grid 2, and it is configured for versioning. Okay, now we'll configure the replication for these buckets. Okay, 1 second. So here, as I said, replication can be unidirectional or bidirectional, depending upon your customer requirement. So in unidirectional replication, what will happen? The contents of one bucket will be replicated to another bucket. Okay, suppose you want your production data from one bucket to another bucket, that will use for the development or testing before releasing the application for production. So you can do this. You can copy the production data to another bucket, and there you can do the testing or development. Okay, so here you can do that. So this is what you can also do disaster recovery testing also by doing these activities. Okay, but if you want to have like create a disaster recovery type, right, so between the two buckets, then you can use bidirectional replication, so that any of the grid is down, you can still have access to the data, identical data. Okay, so if you see here, right, if you see here, right, basically this is the demo dr and everything. You have the same bucket name and everything. Okay, so 1 second, you go to the bucket. Okay, there you have this cross grid application tab, right? You can have this, right? So you can enable this cross grid application. Okay, this is my DC2. Okay, so I'll do this from DC1, means this tenant. Okay, from this bucket I'll do this. So cross grid application, nothing difficult, just go down below. We'll enable this. Okay, so here we can see here enable cross grid application, yes. So here replicate delete markers, yes. So what is this? So I want the content of the both buckets to be identical, because I'm using this for a DR scenario. So when I replicate the delete markers, so if I delete a file in the production bucket, it will show deleted in both the production and DR bucket. Okay, so if we use the replicate delete markers, yes. Okay, so we can just use this. We'll select this. Okay, and go down. We'll enable and test. So now here what it is doing in test, what it is doing, it is checking the connection between the two storage grid, that is grid 1 and grid 2, and it is validating the bucket requirements, whether the bucket exists and configured versioning or not. Okay, after replication is configured, we can manually initiate a testing. Okay, so let me just go down here, go down below. You can see here this is created, right? Cross grid replication is created. Okay, so if I go to my grid 2, okay, buckets, and then I go down here. 1 second, this is this, and cross grid replication, right? So it is not enabled, so we are doing only one from this one to this one. So if you want to both way, so this is in this way you can do. Okay, so here you enable this. Okay, enable and test. Let's just wait. Okay, so this is also done. So here we have enabled the replication between the two buckets. Okay, here you see this is one bucket, cross replication feature is enabled. Okay, you can see here, we go to this bucket, you can see here cross replication feature is enabled. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll enable the S3 access. Okay, we'll configure the S3 access.
Bro,
So
you
here,
did two record session or what?
yeah, this is two replication, means cross create, I
No,
mean not.
recording. Now it's 25 minutes is showing recording.
Yeah, what are you saying? Yeah, two,
Recording.
two different sessions. Yes. I'll upload two videos. Yeah,
Okay, okay, sure.
because one is for Ocam, right? So we'll upload two videos, and yeah, and I wanted to complete the rest of the training that is with you, right? Two with Avneet, because it will be easy for me to give two people, at the same time. So that's the thing. And in the meanwhile, what you can do, you can repeat the, just study the things that I taught you. Okay, you can study the things. Okay, so what we have left with, 7MTT, uh, Flix Group, Storage, Cloud Insight, and E-Series. That's it. Four sessions will be living. Okay, so we'll do this with Abneet. Okay, I think you'll have no problem, right? In morning shift, right? Morning classes. So we'll do that in morning. Okay, so once we do something. So here the thing is, we have created a cross-grid applications, and we created the bucket application to and fro. This is bi-directional. Okay, from this bucket to that bucket, like grid on this bucket to grid to that bucket, and from grid 2 to grid 1. That's why both will having cross grid. Okay, so we are having bi-directional replication here. Okay, and suppose this is, suppose you want to use this thing, right? Data and everything you can use manually, but if application is there, right? So you have to configure the key for application. Okay, so after creating the tenant, we have to configure the ST access keys, because these keys will be used by the application to do read the data and write the data. Okay, because otherwise the application will not be able to read and write data without the access key in the whatever objects are there in the bucket, right? It will not be able to write or read from the objects. Okay, like from the buckets. Okay, so basically, as I said, like password is never replicated, right? So even for federated tenants, like tenant which is being shared by both grid 1 and grid 2, the access keys, the S3 access keys, it is not automatically replicated. Okay, so depending on the use case, we can have different access keys for each grid, or we can also have the keys from one grid replicate to other grid, but it is like different ways of doing this. It will not automatically happen because of the bucket replication. Okay, so here we'll create a S3 access key, and we replicate the grid to the another grid. Okay, so we need to go to the, so let me just come here. This is my yeah, the first one. Okay, this is my storage grid 1. Okay, you can never see storage grid 1, right? You see DC1, this is the site. Okay, but you will never see the, you'll not be able to understand whether storage grid 1 or not. Okay, so that you have to understand in your one way. Okay, in one way means here you can go to the particular grid, and then here you can see this is the IP, I mean this is the FPDN name. Okay, this is DC1, so like that way you can see. So we'll create the key. Okay, so we'll not choose an expiration time, we'll just create the access key. Okay, we'll download the CSV file, because if you do not download, then I'll finish it, then we'll not be able to access the thing. Okay, so basically whenever we are managing the production storage tenant. Okay, so this is the only view where you can access the key. So if we do not download or copy them in this dialog, we'll not have the key. Okay, so that's why you have to finish this thing properly. And once we finish it, you see right here it will show, but it will show in hidden way. Okay, so we have already downloaded this thing, no problem. So we have the access key, we have the access key ID, we have the secret key. Okay, so which will allow access key to the grid 1. So depending on the requirement, we can create another set of keys for grid 2, or we can clone this grid 1 access key to grid 2 using an API call. Okay, so if we are using the disaster recovery cases, where we want an application to access data in the second grid in the event of a failure or site failure. So it's better to clone the data. It's better to clone the access key from grid 1 to grid 2, okay, so that both credentials work in both the grids, okay. But if you're doing like from production to some other site, and you don't want the developers to have the production access, so then you can generate separate key and give it to them. Both is possible, okay. So let me go to the grid 2 here, okay, and you can you can select the my access keys here, okay, and you can create your new key here, okay. You can do that, okay. And the other way to you know and the other way to replicate the things and everything, it will be a little bit difficult, okay. Normally you don't need to do it. So here they have created a Python, you know they have created a Python script for this, okay. So let me show the script. The script is this one, okay. So this is the Python script they have created, PyScript. One second. Yeah. So what it is doing, it's a Python script, that's why they are using this. So what it is doing, it's a script which will read the HC authentication from the downloaded SSL which you have downloaded, and it will call API to replicate the data, okay. So that's what it will do, okay. So what it is doing, it is importing this path module, the request module, JSON module, time module, logging module, OS module, okay, sys module, IO module, all these things, okay. And then it is importing from this module request.packages.url specific module. It is importing this module, okay, insecure, okay. Then what is it is doing, it is taking the user, these are the variables, okay. So these are the variables is having this kind of entry which is for access, okay. And this is grid base URL. This is also a variable which you're defining here. It's just the URL of your grid, your first storage grid, okay. And the CSV file location is this one, okay. And storage grid account authentication account is this, the tenant, okay. And if you go down here, this is the logging infos and all, okay. Now here if you see here, right, so what is this, these are nothing but these are APIs, okay, which is having APIs. And there you have the logging module, and you are calling this class basic config, and here you're passing this passing this data parameter. So label equal to this, format equal to this. So format this is a format like the way it will take the data, okay. So like this, it is using get logger function. This is authentication, like how it is taking the CSV file, all these things, how it is filtering. So this is a list it is creating from this path, this variable, which is basically the directory path it is taking, and it is using a global variable on it, and it is just creating a list on the path variables what you are having, okay. And it is taking a len function which is taking like the length of that function at what like suppose it's the list is you are having three contents, so it will give you the output, you return the three output, okay. So like that you can check. So it's I don't think you have to learn all these things, but normally you can check this, okay. We are not going to create any Python script, okay. So but
Bro,
let's,
but is it also important for this?
no, this is actually not important, but you can if you really want, you can copy this one and you can use in your own environment, okay, just to replicate, because there are no other way to replicate. There are no I mean there are no other way to replicate. You understand, right? Means this the
Yeah, yeah.
script there. Yeah, it cannot replicate in any other way. Means there is no GUI feature. You have to use the script, okay. So it is saying that S3 credential sync is completed, so this replication is done, okay. So if you go to the after this thing, if you go to the storage grid 2, which is this one, this is the tenant, okay. And you just refresh this, see it is copied, right, it is replicated. So it is using a script, it is using API call. So without, you do not have any option, uh, you do not have any option here in GUI to replicate the access keys. Okay, you do not have it. Okay, so that's why they have created a Python script for this. So what it did, the Python script, what it did, it added the SC credentials and other things. It copied it to the grid 2. So that's what it did. Okay, and if
Okay.
you, yeah,
Bro, one doubt, bro. This exercise, I told right how to create that user to provide the access to other person.
which one? Where NetApp?
Or NetApp, any clusters.
Okay,
So
just
presently I'm using some admin
let me show
here.
you. Let me show you. Go to NetApp. I don't know why it's coming here. Okay, okay, wait. Okay, I'll open some uh, other lab to show you this, okay? Because I need to have access to OnTap. In storage grid I cannot show you. Here they do not have access. Okay, I'll open another lab to give you this. Okay, so these are the things that you can do. Okay, and that's very good, and if you want to do one more thing, you can do that, which is like, you can upload different files and objects, okay, in the bucket. Okay, you can upload it. So once you have all this configuration, like storage grid, federation, everything is configured, you can upload the files and you can validate the replications, whether the replication is performing correctly or not. So what you can do is, there you can go to the storage grid one, here this tenant. Okay, and you can log into the S3 console. One second, you go to the bucket, S3 console. Okay, here upload access keys, right? So you have already have the keys, which I have it in download folder. So these are the keys. Sign in. Okay, I've logged into here. Okay, so I've logged into here, that is fine. And this is the bucket I have. I will click into the bucket and I will upload the file here. uh, I'll upload it from home directory. Okay, sample files I'll upload. File 1 I uploaded. Okay, so here I'll also open to the grid 2. Grid 2's so wherever I went to the bucket, right? So I need to go to the grid 2's tenant and then bucket. Okay, S3 console. Okay, upload keys, it will be same keys only, so which is this one, because we replicated the keys. So we'll upload here, we'll log in here. Okay, it's not a problem. We'll go to the demo here. See, it's copied, right? You can see, right? It's copied, right? Whatever we uploaded here, it's copied. You can see, right? So its replication is going on very well. Okay, and suppose you want to upload something here. Suppose I want to upload here file 2. Okay, then I come here and see whether file 2 is there or not. I do refresh. See, file 2 is there. So bidirectional replication is happening, right? So you can say bidirectional replication is happening. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you. Okay, and you wanted to see something else also, right? So I will show that one. One second, I will